What is going on, guys? I hope you are having a fantastic day. If you're new to the channel, my name is Parker Nierenstein. This is Vehicle Virgins, and today we are headed to Best Buy in the Supra because GoPro just came out with the new Hero 10, and I am in dire need of some new GoPros. One of the things I love about YouTube is you can succeed on the platform without spending tons of money on equipment. In fact, the first ever video I filmed was on an iPhone 5. This camera has been great for a very long time. It's a GoPro Hero 7 Black. Honestly, I love it. The audio quality is not bad and the video quality is great. My second GoPro though is still a Hero 5 and it's cracked on the back. I think it's time to upgrade. Let's go, guys. I am excited. It feels like Christmas. Let's open these things up. Cool little carrying case it comes in, although this is huge for how small a GoPro is. And there she is. Man, I wonder if I can use this camera before I update it. Clearly not. Time to charge the new GoPro so I can give you guys my first impressions, but I'm actually surprised it's quite a bit larger than the old GoPro. I don't know about you guys, maybe this is just my nerdy engineering side of myself, but anytime I get a new gadget or electronic, I want to learn every single thing about it, make sure I know all the optimal settings and use it immediately. So I am like frantically waiting to get this GoPro charged and actually check it out. Well, the new GoPro is charged, and what better way to test it out than to film the rest of the vlog with this camera. I've put it into linear mode, which should give less of that wide angle that you're traditionally used to with GoPros, and it should have a little bit better built-in audio quality. My favorite part about the camera so far is the fact that it has a display on the front of the camera itself so that you can actually do things like vlog, but also when I put the camera in the car for a review and I'm placing it on the windshield, now I can actually see what it's looking at. I'll take the other camera right here. Check it out. So here is the other Hero 10, and right on this screen, you can actually see exactly what the camera is pointed at. I'm hoping the audio quality is good. They actually have a really cool, they call it a mic mod that you can add to the Hero 10 that just builds onto the case, and it has an external microphone, which is really nice. It's one thing that GoPros suffer from a little bit is audio quality, although I'm hopeful but this one is pretty decent. Make sure to stick around to the end of the video, guys. I'm gonna be answering some questions that you've been asking me that you wanna know the answers to, and some crazy stuff happens like, well, the future of this Supra. I think you guys obviously know what is about to happen, unfortunately. But before we continue, I'd like to give a special shout out to the sponsor of today's video, Skillshare. Skillshare is an amazing online learning community with thousands of classes ranging from business to cinematography, automotive, and more. Premium memberships give you unlimited access to high quality classes on your favorite topics, so you can unlock new opportunities, improve your skills, and do the work you love. Recently, I've been watching MKBHD's YouTube success class, which is amazing that a very successful YouTuber is actually giving tips and tricks on how to do well on YouTube, and it's been a blast watching. Skillshare is also super affordable considering the amazing information you're getting. An annual subscription costs less than $10 per month. The best part is, because Skillshare is sponsoring this video, the first 1,000 of you subscribers to click the link in the description below, seriously do it, gets a free 1-month trial of Skillshare so you can start exploring your creativity today. All right, it's time to get rid of the Supra. I'm sorry, Supra, I know you don't know what's about to happen, but unfortunately it is time for a new owner. What an incredible experience it's been with the Supra, but I do feel like it's finally time to move on to something else. Guys, you guys voted in the comment section below on the last video I did when I was appraising the Supra at CarMax, but I'd love to hear again what your thoughts are on E92 M3, E60 M5, E39 M5, or E46 M3. I really want to nail down one of those 4 cars and bring it on the channel in the very near future, because once I get rid of this, I'm literally going to be daily driving my McLaren, which is totally impractical. I noticed the vast majority of you guys watching aren't actually subscribed to the channel yet, so if you wouldn't mind, hit that subscribe button, turn that notification bell on to join the Vehicle Virgins family. There's going to be some awesome content coming up, including heading to Pennsylvania next week to meet up with Street Speed 717. I haven't seen him in years, and I am so excited to collab with Mike again. We've got some really cool stuff planned, and it's always just a great time hanging out with my buddy. All right, here we are at CarMax. Well, guys, just like that, the Supra is no longer mine. CarMax made this super easy, and if you want to sponsor me for a future video, you definitely should. So reach out to my email, vehiclevirgins@gmail.com. But seriously, drove the car here the other day. Within 30 minutes, they gave the car a value. I had a week to decide whether I wanted to sell it or not. Came back in here, gave them my registration, my account number for the payoff, as well as my driver's license. Boom, they called the bank, and then they wrote me a check for the difference between what I owed on the car and how much they gave me for the car right there on the spot. That is pretty awesome. Oh yeah, BMW just dropped off the new M8 Competition Grand Coupe. This thing is sick. Now, obviously I'm going to be doing a full review on the M8 Grand Coupe, but I just wanted to show you guys. I just got it. Little look around the exterior. I love this gray exterior color. Those wheels are gorgeous. I think they did such a good job with the styling on the M8, particularly the Grand Coupe. Let's take a look at the rear seat area. There's actually tons of room back here. Loving the quilted leather seats. Up to the front. This is gonna be a fun car to spend the next weekend for sure. Something I haven't done in a very long time with you guys is a Q&A, answering a bunch of your questions that you have for me. Now, I posted on my Instagram @VehicleVirgins asking you guys what you wanted to know, and you responded with tons and tons of questions. So I'm gonna answer them for you. The first one, which is hilariously timed, is why don't you buy an M8? Well, I didn't buy it, but it is here right now. Honestly, it's a really cool car, but I'm looking for an older M car right at the moment. Here's a really good question. Why did you become a YouTuber? I get that question all the time. How did you get into Vehicle Virgins and why did you start? Honestly, it was combining two passions into one. I loved filming and I loved cars. A lot of people don't know, I used to actually film snowboarding videos. I was really into snowboarding, and when I was 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, I would go out with friends and we'd film little recap videos of the winter season at Squaw Valley, which was a bunch of fun. Basically self-taught myself how to film and edit doing that. Then on the side, always watching Top Gear, always reading Motor Trend magazines, reading car reviews, so obsessed with it. And I thought, you know what? It'd be kind of cool to combine the two things into one. The real thing that prompted it though is people would ask me in high school, I get $6,000 as my budget. What should I get for my first car? I just turned 16. And tons of people would ask me that because they knew that I was a car guy. So I would help them one-on-one. And then eventually I realized instead of helping people just one-on-one, what if I expanded and created a larger audience? It actually originally was a website. And then I figured I could probably attract a larger audience going onto YouTube. And that's basically how I started. I jammed an iPhone in the headrest and just started making videos. They weren't the best. I'm still learning, but honestly, you just gotta jump into it. Make no excuses if you wanna do YouTube. Another question that I got was, where did the name Vehicle Virgins come from? I get that question all the time. Vehicle Virgins was all about helping people find their first car. First car, virginity, vehicle virgins, etc. Here's another really good question. Would you drop your social media career to pursue an engineering career? Most likely not. I really like the freedom that I have from my social media job. And I really like creating videos. It's just an absolute blast for me. And the opportunities I've gotten, like being able to just casually sit in an M8, has been incredible. So I love that about YouTube, and meeting you guys, traveling the world, it is awesome. The only engineering type thing that I would leave social media for would be if I created my own product, which is something I absolutely want to do in the future, is create something from scratch, use my engineering degree, and then use the stuff I've learned from social media in order to market that product. I don't think I'm ever gonna actually fully leave social media though. Talk about your potential options for the 600 LT replacement. Honestly, I'm not thinking about selling the 600 LT whatsoever, so I don't got a replacement for it. Parker, have you seen the C8 Z06? If so, can you make a reaction video to it? I think that car is going to be a game changer and could be the first American car that I ever buy for the channel. It's going to be fast. That flat plane crank V8 sounds like a 458 in an American mid-engine car, obviously it's going to be insane. I can't wait to see those hit the road. Will you come to Europe at some point? Funny enough, I was just talking with Archie Hamilton, TGE, Shmee, Seen Through Glass, and some other European buddies about making a trip out to Europe next month. I haven't been in forever since the start of the pandemic, and I really want to get out there, see some old buddies, do some car spotting, and adventure out in Europe. Another good question, favorite car you've driven in 2021? I can't pick an ultimate favorite, but I'd say top 3, 765 LT, Tesla Model S Plaid. Then the last one, Ferrari SF90 for sure. Parker, why did you sell the 812 Superfast? That is a great question. It was one of my favorite cars that I've ever owned. Incredibly fast, hence the name. Incredible sounding V12. Honestly, came down to finances, having all those cars at one time. I just couldn't afford it anymore, so I got rid of it. Obviously, I wish I still had the 812 Superfast, but you know what? I am still very happy with my current fleet. Here's a totally random question. What's the furthest north you have ever been? I looked on the map and I think either Lake Louise, Canada or Denmark. I haven't actually been that far north, but those are probably the two different places. Another great one, will you ever get into a Porsche GT3 RS, 2RS, or Turbo S? I think about that all the time. I've almost bought a 2016 GT3 RS like 10 different times. Love the way those things sound. Yes, eventually I will get a Porsche. They drive so damn well. Turbo S is an awesome daily supercar style vehicle. But yeah, eventually I will definitely have to get one. They're just too good not to. A car you would never buy again. I would say the Speciale Aperta, only because I'm just not at the level of wealth where a car like that makes sense. I loved that thing to death, and I wish I still had it, but it was so mileage sensitive, and I've learned that no matter how much I want to try to limit myself from driving a car, the point of it is to have fun. So I drive the crap out of every car that I own. I put tons of miles on them, and for a special edition limited car, that makes it very difficult value-wise. Another great question is, would you rather have 1 hypercar or 3 supercars? That's difficult because if you've got the money to buy a hypercar, traditionally you probably have money to also buy 3 supercars, a hypercar, and a bunch of daily drivers. But if you were just like saving and wanted to blow it all, I would definitely say 3 supercars. Going along with the Speciale Aperta thing, obviously not a hypercar, but with 1 hypercar, it's limited in how much you can drive it if you don't want to absolutely lose your shirt on depreciation. But hopefully someday, that is my goal, to own a hypercar. What is your favorite Shmee-mobile? That's a good question. Shout out to Tim. Probably a Senna. I really, really love the way the Senna drives. He's got probably one of the best fleets on YouTube for sure. The Senna, the GT Black Series, the Ford GT, and literally every other car on the planet. But I'd say the Senna probably. After MIT, what kind of plans you had for your future except YouTube? I didn't go to MIT. I went to University of Michigan and got a mechanical engineering degree. The original plan was to work for an automotive company, so I interned at Toyota, I interned at Ford, and explored that opportunity. Honestly, by the time I was a junior in college, I already knew I wanted to do YouTube full time. If I didn't, then I would have aimed to work at an automotive company for sure, and eventually work my way up, hopefully end up at some place like Lamborghini or Tesla or Koenigsegg, Pagani. That would be super, super cool. What is the biggest vehicle you have owned? Definitely the Rolls-Royce Cullinan. That thing was absolutely huge. Are you going to review Mike's Ram TRX? That is absolutely the plan. So Mike, I know you want to jump it and make it explode in some viral video, but please, if you could just keep it safe for like 3 more days so I can visit and review it with you, that would be amazing. All right, here's a great last question, and then I want to talk about the Supra replacement. Did you ever think you would get famous or make income from YouTube? Honestly, no to both when I first started. Really, it was just a fun project for me because I liked filming videos and loved cars. As I was pushing more and more, fame was never part of the equation. Obviously, I wanted to make money because I wanted to eventually be able to drive the cars that I loved. And considering now it's, you know, my full-time job, obviously making money is important so that you can survive and put a roof over your head. But no, I really didn't think that it would explode the way that it did. Once things started taking off, you know, late 2015, 2016, I figured that I had something going and just needed to keep pushing, but you know, it's a learning experience the whole time, and I never really had a instantaneous, like, boom, now you're viral moment. It was a slow and steady climb. for the beginning of the channel. Well, to wrap things up, I want to talk about the Supra replacement. I've basically come down to 2 different cars. I'm really thinking E92 M3 or E60 M5, and I'm curious which one of those you guys would rather see. Reason being is I had an E46 M3 when I had that giveaway car. A bunch of my friends have them and I've driven them a lot. The E39 M5 I think about all the time, and I love that car, but I'm worried about content since I've done literally everything under the sun with an E39 M5, including supercharging it. But I do think that would be a fun car to have eventually. So guys, let me know, would you rather see an E92 M3 or an E60 M5? Both, I'm thinking manual transmission. All right guys, I look forward to seeing you next video.